Okay, so Tausif is having some tech trouble. He will be joining us in a couple of minutes. Would you like to introduce yourself? What's up?
Yeah, happy to. Hi everyone. My name is Utsav. I'm a co-founder and CTO at Sharplabs and Hive Intelligence. And yeah, we have been building. I mean, yeah, just to talk briefly about what we have been building. So yeah, we are building a data intelligence platform, uh, bundled with our crypto super app at Sharp. So I mean, yeah, we'll definitely talk more about that. But yeah, that's briefly on what we're doing at Sharp. And yeah, at Hive, we are building a plug and play solution for AI agents to utilize the vast variety of data on the Web3 universe.
Awesome. So, how are Sharp and Hive Intelligence is connected?
In terms of common features between both, I would say it's mostly just the data, uh, like some of the data sources and the pipelines that are, common between both Sharp and Hive. But yeah, apart from that, it's pretty much very different. Serve very different use cases, very different applications. Sharp is more of a super application, which like has a variety of use cases that we'll talk more about. And yeah, Hive is mostly like the use case for Hive is mostly to serve the AI agents, like the developers and yeah, the builders of AI agents. And yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Tausif is here. Um, I'm pretty sure everyone here knows Tausif. He is the Chief Business Development Officer at io.net. Welcome, Tausif. I will continue asking a few questions to you if that's all right. So, why is structured access to blockchain data such a key unlock for AI agents?
So you're asking by, sorry, maybe I did not get the question. Could you please repeat?
So, there's a structured access to blockchain data, right? And
Mhm.
why is it a key unlock for AI agents? Is it aligned
Oh
with
yeah,
what you are building at Hive?
yeah. Definitely, it's very much aligned to what we're building at Hive. Now what we see is gaining a lot of traction are the AI agents in general, right? In the Web3 space, if we talk about it. And yeah, what these AI agents do, they are talk very briefly about it. They can execute complex workflows on behalf of users, make data-driven decisions at machine speed, which let's say a human being directly cannot do. And they are, of course, constantly evolving, right, across multiple, let's say, environments within Web3. You can say across multiple platforms, multiple chains, and everything. And yeah, as these AI agents are evolving, there are certain challenges that the AI agents are facing, right? So if you're specifically talking about data, the first challenge is the accessibility of the vast variety of Web3 data to these AI agents. So because the data in the Web3 space is very fragmented, right? So there is on-chain data, which requires specialized nodes and infrastructure. And then there is centralized exchanges market data, which is again behind proprietary APIs. And yeah, there's a lot of unstructured data, like Twitter, the news sources and everything. And yeah, if someone is building their like yeah, so this is the, let's say, the important challenge which Hive Intelligence is solving, right? Someone who is building their own AI agents, they don't have to, plug in, let's say, Binance APIs, Bybit APIs, and Uniswap APIs, and RPCs, and then let's say Twitter APIs and everything, right? Because of course, if there's a AI agent which is making decisions, let's say which trade to execute or what sentiment to post on the social media, they need these data. So yeah, Hive Intelligence is basically a plug and play solution for these AI agents. to get all this data with a, let's say, single API.
Awesome. Thank you for that answer. I actually have a question for you both now. What's the state of AI agents in DeFi?
Mhm. Yeah,
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 I'm
definitely. Yeah,
happy to. All right, what's up? You want
yeah,
to
yeah,
go
please go
first?
ahead.
Okay, all right, I'll
Uh,
jump in
yeah,
here real quick.
yeah,
Yeah, I think, with AI agents, I think they're very much in sort of like the infancy of sort of what they're really capable of, right? Especially when it comes to DeFi. I think we went through this whole first like initial wave of AI agents that were, for lack of a better word, almost like hype based, right? Where they were connected to a Twitter feed, had their own account, had some like basic level of fine tuning or like context retrieval to sort of like respond to, like people's replies and things like that. And then they had a token slapped on top of it. I think there's been some interesting experiments that are like starting on the DeFi side. I think, we had one of our other partners here, Sphere as well, who are doing some really interesting work in the DFAI space. But I think this, in the current meta around it, it's really sort of an area of experimentation. I think people have a lot of cool ideas that they're trying out a bunch of different things with, and trying to see what will be that key unlock to drive like mainstream adoption and kind of really bring that next layer of um, like usability and like like UI UX that people will really want to be able to actually sort of like better functionally interact with DeFi protocols and smart contracts and things like that. I think there's been some great work done that's just started, but I think with with some of the things that Itza was talking about, I think some of that infrastructure level plumbing that will really make AI agents in DeFi work really well and seamlessly. I think that stuff is being built right now, right? And kind of like having this connection through interconnected APIs across a variety of different blockchain sources and unstructured data formats will make sort of that next iteration and generation of AI agents a lot more powerful, a lot more easier to use, and I think we'll start to see a lot more adoption coming through um, as we see that happen.
yeah, yeah, I definitely agree. Yeah, just to like build on top of that, I would also agree that there's a lot of evolvement that we are seeing with the AI agents, and yeah, there's like a lot of opportunity here, right? A lot of work to be done, and yeah, let's say where we are currently with the AI agents, and if I like try to predict where we will be in the next 5 years, yeah, it will be a very steep curve ahead. So a few of the areas where I see the involvement of AI agents will happen is on the trading side. Like these AI agents will be able to, trade the market themselves without involvement of any human intelligence, right? As well as like I would say managing the portfolios, and yeah, these are the areas where I see like the of course the data will also have a very major role to play.
Thank you. So Hive Intelligence is about data, IO.net is about compute, and data and compute are two halves of the AI agent stack. How do you guys see these two stacks working both independently and together in the real world? Tosif, you wanna? Yeah.
I'm sorry, I think I missed the first part of that question. Can you just repeat that?
Sure. So data and compute are two halves of the AI agent stack. How do you see these two stacks working both independently and together in the real world?
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. Happy to speak on that a little bit more. So I mean, when we're building AI and AI agents in particular and AI in general, I think the two foundational elements that feed into making AI what it is are data and compute. And I think the compute aspect of it is really just the sheer like power that's needed to train these models to make sure that they function like they're fundamentally like the oil of the engine, right? But then data is kind of really what makes a lot of these like AI models useful, right? And I think that's kind of how we see sort of like the entire you know, workload stack across different customers, even at IO, sort of like evolve, right? I think during the training phase, it's an extremely intensive amount of compute that's needed, but there's also an equally intensive amount of data that's needed to actually train models in the specific format you want them, right? And I think when it kind of goes to that next level of just like, well, how do you kind of make this train model even more useful for specific use cases or for particular contexts that you need the model for, the answer there kind of once again comes out to be data, right? It's more like context specific data. It's more sort of like things that you would need to like fine tune it with, whether that's, you know, like images, videos, documents, audio, things like that. So I think there's worlds in which you know, both compute and data are independently really important for AI model training and inference and fine tuning. And they come in sort of like different areas in the same processes, but they're also kind of very interconnected, right? Because um, with a lot of the AI workloads that we see on IONet, a lot of you know, a lot of these companies and customers are essentially sort of bottlenecked by their access to data or their ability to sort of like store data or um, you know, read, write, and sort of like interject with data in particular. So it's a situation where we kind of see a lot of customers even like asking us for ways to sort of like store data and be able to kind of like pull that in as their training models are running. So we've been kind of exploring a lot of these sort of like decentralized data storage and retrieval alternatives as part of our evolution further up the AI tech stack. And I think, you know, a lot of it also comes through uh, partnerships with partners like Sharp, where they're taking a more sort of you know, surgical approach to different parts of the data tech stack problem, right? I think there's a lot of data out there. A lot of it is unstructured, and a lot of it is sort of like, and even the structured one is sort of like hard to access and sort of like collate across a variety of different sources. So I think as a lot of these sort of like solutions get built on the data side to make it even easier to consume for AI models in the future, I think we'll start to see kind of like these solutions sort of merge on the compute and data side too, to make it extremely seamless for developers everywhere to build and train AI models.
Thanks a lot for that. I actually had another question regarding IO intelligence. So I was gonna ask, how could IO intelligence help power use cases like Hive, where agents need real-time inference tied to live market data? So you touched on IO Cloud, and how could IO intelligence help power use cases like Hive?
Yeah, happy to answer that as well. So with IO intelligence, fundamentally, you know, IO intelligence is sort of like an abstraction on the layer of compute that we offer, right? So we're fundamentally hosting a variety of different popular open source models on IONet's underlying GPU deepin and making it easier than ever for developers anywhere to start building using AI. I think this works really well with sort of like agent launchpad platforms and sort of agentic products like Hive and what Sharp is building, because there's, you know, launching agents, especially, you know, ones that sort of have like different directives and different missions. There's different models that can do that job really well based on exactly what you're trying to do, right? And I think through IO intelligence, a lot of developers can quickly test out different open source models, whether that's DeepSeek, whether that's Llama, whether that's Quen, and really get an understanding of which model best fits their use case and their need, right? And I think that's an area where IO intelligence can come in and sort of like solve that need really quickly as people are evaluating what type of agents or sort of what type of agentic use cases they want on Hive. And I think sort of thinking beyond that too, with sort of like a specific use case, like, inferencing on live market data, that's something that's extremely high throughput, requires low latency, requires high speed, because obviously you want your agents to be able to react quickly in terms of changing market conditions, which, as we've seen these days, can change very rapidly. And I think in those cases, our intelligence can even be extended to sort of like private model hosting, right? Like where um, people can specifically host the model of their choice on their own GPUs, ensure that their bandwidth isn't shared across other potential customers of our intelligence, and ensure that they have the best sort of um, latency and sort of development experience possible while using IO intelligence. And I think lastly, I'll also mention whenever it comes to sort of agents that operate in traditional financial markets or trading markets or crypto markets, a lot of the edge that's built by AI agents really comes through longer term like fine tuning and really sort of refining it to create an edge for it in this space, right? Like there's very few sort of trading bots that I imagine will be successful just in like out of the box implementations of whatever the base level model is. And I think that kind of goes back to that data point of with sort of the increasing amount of data, these models kind of need to be fine tuned based on sort of their actions, their results, and kind of going through that constant level of iteration. And I think those sort of fine-tuned models that are specifically for those trading use cases, I think those are situations in which they could potentially be hosted on IO intelligence as well and accessed via APIs. So I think there's a variety of different ways um, that IO intelligence could really help power use cases like Hive.
Awesome. Thank you so much for everything you said. I agree with it, and it was very detailed. I love it. So I'm gonna move over to Utsav. So you guys are pulling live data from 20 plus chains, and you mentioned you are pulling data from centralized exchanges as well. So what are the compute implications for running agents on top of that, especially if you are using models to parse and respond?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Happy to answer that. Yeah, that's true. We are pulling data. Yeah, if you're talking about on-chain data, then yeah, we are pulling from over 20 chains, and yeah, then we are pulling from, let's say, around 10 centralized exchanges. And apart from that, of course, the unstructured data that is there on the social media platforms, news, and everything. Yeah, so if you're talking about the compute implications for running or let's say maintaining data pipelines with such heavy load, yeah, I would say that yeah, we definitely are we are definitely dependent on scalable compute providers such as IO.net. And yeah, the compute requirements are definitely high when just for the maintaining the data pipelines. And then and yeah, when I talk about compute, it also includes databases, scalable high efficiency databases to manage heavy operations with such high amount of data. So yeah, that both both the data pipelines and the databases, I would uh, bundle it in the compute requirements itself. Now, if you're building AI agents on top of this, yeah, again, AI agents, let's say if we are not building ourselves, but our clients are building AI agents on top of this data that we are providing. Yeah, we are definitely like looking to provide uh, our clients one, or let's say no code, one click solution to build their own AI agents on top of this data, right? And yeah, if our clients are building AI agents on this, then of course they are also looking to consume a high compute, right, for running these AI agents. And so yeah, we have to make sure the compute is scalable, right? There is no downtime, and yeah, there is no loss of packets, there is no loss of data, and of course, if there is an AI agent which is, let's say, as I was talking about earlier, doing trading, doing live trading on chain or centralized exchanges, then yeah, that any com- any negative compute implications could also incur portfolio losses. So yeah, that I would classify as part of the risk management, and like the compute risk management, right? So yeah, that also goes, like, yeah, that also is com- like the compute requirement for like anyone building AI agent on top of the data, then they will definitely uh, require close to 100% uptime, and no risk when it comes to compute. But of course, talking more about the data itself, right? Even though we are not, let's say, building our own AI agents, we are providing a plug-and-play solution for others to build AI agents. We do, host our own models, small models, to parse data that we are fetching and parse the user queries, for example, whatever, like data that user requires. If they, if they're sending a natural language query to ask for certain data that they need, then yeah, we have to run our own models to parse that query. Then we have to parse the raw data that we have stored in databases, and to like convert it into an appropriate response, let's say a JSON response or any response that user wants, and yeah, then send back that data to the user. So all of that still requires certain amount of model hosting, certain amount of, and of course, if you're hosting our models, even though, yeah, I'm not talking about large, uh, you know, uh, hundreds of billions uh, uh, token models, but I'm talking about, let's say, smaller models which are running on whatever, let's say, under 10 billion tokens or even less. So, but yeah, even hosting smaller models like these require GPU compute and yeah, high availability of compute in general, even if not just GPU, but CPUs, RAM, and everything. So yeah, all that sort of compute is again like a very important part of our own backend, even without the AI agents themselves. And then of course the clients who are running their own AI agents on top of our APIs, they will, let's say, also like to host their own models, either host their own models, or let's say if they are using APIs of other LLMs, that's completely up to them. But yeah, if they are hosting their own models, which is also like one of the service we would like one of the features we would like our clients to have. And yeah, if they're hosting their own models, then yeah, we would like for them to be able to, yeah, have access to the GPUs, to the compute in general, to be able to host their own models. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So you mentioned that devs can host their own models, right? And what kind of developer or builder is best positioned to take advantage of what you are offering right now?
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, one of the end users are the general AI developers, right? Uh, since AI is such a hot scale in the market right now, there are a lot of developers who are building their own, and let's say even if they are new to Web3, yeah, they are building their own AI agents to let's say do certain tasks for them. So one of the major use cases, as I mentioned earlier, is trading. And yeah, when I talk about trading, on-chain trading especially, because yeah, I would say AI agents are not yet so far to do trading on centralized exchanges, which is very high frequency and requires very low latency. But of course, uh, I mean, yeah, definitely in a few years, I would say that AI agents will be able to trade yeah, in the on the centralized exchanges as well. But yeah, right now one of the user like yeah who I see is a major use case is the yeah independent AI developers, retail traders who are building their own agents to do on-chain trading. Take advantage of the arbitrage opportunities across different chains and things like this, which is like pretty much possible with the AI agents if they have the right kind of data. So yeah, that's one of the major use case, like the users of our platforms. And yeah, apart from that, of course, there are certain AI agents, uh, let's say doing sentiment analysis over social media, for example, generating the reports. Then yeah, that's one of the use cases, one of the user groups that we have. Then we have businesses, let's say building someone who is building infrastructure of AI agents, right? Even if they're not building the AI agents, but they're building the infrastructure. But of course, they also need data solution, easy data integration to their AI agent infrastructure. And yeah, that's one of the that's another, let's say, use case. Uh, yeah, of Hive intelligence APIs. And I mean, yeah, there are more, but I would say yeah, these are the top picks I have in terms of users.
Thanks a lot. So you mentioned people can do on-chain transactions and on-chain they can do things like arbitrage um, on the platform, right? So it falls under the category of DeFi, which is a combined two words of DeFi and AI. We previously mentioned it. So, what do you think the future of DeFi will look like, from data to compute to execution? Actually, this is a question to both of you. But so, if you want to go ahead first, I'm happy to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, definitely. So I would see that yeah, the AI agents will completely replace human, at least like I would say 90% or 99% when it comes to cross-chain arbitrages and yeah, like trading with any simple algorithms on chain, right? Because yeah, on chain transactions, yeah, as long as we are there to provide the data as well as the security aspects. Basically, yeah, providing all the backend for doing on chain transactions in a secure, in a intelligent manner. So yeah, there is no reason why AI agents can't completely replace humans in the upcoming time when it comes to cross-chain arbitrages and yeah, anything that just requires a simple algorithm to trade. Uh, yeah, that's one thing I see happening very soon with the AI agents. And I mean, yeah, that would be pretty much my answer.
Awesome. Thanks a lot. Tell us if what's your take on that?
Yeah, so I definitely agree with that. I think, a lot of future trading, whether it's like on-chain or off-chain, will definitely be more AI agent driven rather than human driven. I think we're almost kind of like they're already, at least in like TradFi markets, just solely based on, high frequency sort of trading and trading algorithms and things like that. So that's why we have such, like quick reactions to, tweets and pieces of news and things like that these days. And, I think that kind of really shows why this sort of movement more towards, DFAI is going to continue to happen and possibly accelerate too, like as AI agents become more powerful in terms of the access to data they have, the amount of compute power they have, and their speed of execution, just simply based on their ability to analyze all that data really quickly, kind of play out a number of different scenarios, assign probabilities, and then make trading decisions based off of them. It's obviously going to be significantly faster than what any other human can do. And I think that's where um, all these AI agents are going to try to build edge, right? So, yeah, you can either build edge from the type of information and data you have access to or what you prioritize, or you can hoard a ton of compute to make sure that you have the most amount of power, or you can sort of optimize for latency and pipelines and just speed of execution and things like that, right? So I think in the future, I think we'll see a situation where these three sort of dimensions are really kind of optimized across the tech stack, and perhaps even brought like kind of more closer together and more deeply integrated, to create a sustainable edge for these agents in sort of DeFi and TradFi, like trading markets. So yeah, I think that's sort of like the general direction I kind of see this whole space growing into and evolving into.
Thanks a lot. Okay, that brings another question to my mind. So, what's something most people misunderstand about AI agents in the context of crypto infrastructure? So, for example, when I see people saying that like AXPT is an AI agent, actually Hasim said this first. I saw one of his tweets. He said that AXPT and like most of the claimed like AI agents are not agents; they are most likely chatbots. And like, what do you think like people misunderstand about AI agents?
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
yeah, tell us if you can go first.
sure. Yeah, I'm happy to jump in here. Yeah, I think that's kind of one of the key things, like you already touched on, Hans, is sort of like a misunderstanding of what AI agents are and what they're really capable of today versus what they potentially are capable of in the future, right? Like I think, yeah, and I think sort of that point you just made about the chatbots is probably something that's most relatable to everyone, right? Like I think when that initial AI agent like wave sort of came over everyone, and you had these AI agents kind of um, tweeting and posting about things and replying to other people on X. I think a lot of people kind of really felt as if like a next generation of AI agents had arrived and could seamlessly sort of blend into humans and you couldn't really tell the difference and it was kind of like a new paradigm, right? But in reality, a lot of them were sort of like very simplistic, um, you know, chat GPT or Anthropic wrappers with some like slight fine tuning done. And they were really kind of almost just like regurgitating, like based off of like the inputs that they were getting from, reading replies and things like that. So almost just like more of a more like sophisticated chatbot, right? Like slightly so. And in reality, didn't really have anything to do with crypto infrastructure really, except for, I think a lot of the creators sort of saw an opportunity to slap a token on top, play the attention game, and then, extract liquidity from that situation. So I think there was this, I don't think anyone ever really had a good answer of why one of the AI agent chatbots needed to have a token. And I think we kind of saw how that whole story ended. But I think it sort of goes to show that like with every new technology and innovation, like it's always driven by sort of this speculative bubble in the beginning because everyone's really excited about the technology and what's going to, what it's capable of. And then you kind of go through this area of disillusionment when people's like expectations actually start meeting reality about what the technology is capable of. But I think during that like trough of like disillusionment is when a lot of the key infrastructure and tools and features are built for the actual reality that people were hoping for to happen. So I think that's sort of the area we're in right now, right? And with teams like Sharp building a lot of that infrastructure where it actually is a key interconnect between AI agent infrastructure and with blockchain networks and data and centralized exchanges. I think we're starting to see sort of like some of those key features that'll enable that reality of AI agents truly living on the blockchain and sort of like autonomously operating and trading on chain, which I think will be closer to the reality that people were expecting from that initial wave.
Thank you. I'm curious to hear your thoughts, Utsa.
Yeah, definitely. I totally agree with what Tausif mentioned. Yeah, AI agents in crypto, it's nothing new, right? It's just uh, yeah, an opportunity which a lot of projects grabbed on, like, by being, let's say, at the right place at the right time. But yeah, just to give an example, even at Sharp, we built an AI agent, uh, like at least 1.5, 2 years ago, before AI agents was a thing, right? And yeah, what we did, we were doing sentiment analysis and yeah, posting sentiment analysis on Twitter for any recent developments that were happening in the crypto and Web3 space. And yeah, it's nothing, again, AI agents in crypto, it's really nothing specific to crypto, right? It's just utilizing the existing infrastructure of AI and solving a specific, let's say, web-related use case. Yeah, that's pretty much what AI agents are at the, yeah, behind the curtain, right? But of course, yeah, it's not about creating any uh, temporary hype or anything like that. But yeah, it's about building an infrastructure that solves a long-term uh, use case. And yeah, that's where I see the AI agents are, yeah, right now, let's say, underutilized, right? And but yeah, in future, I see a lot of opportunity in this area. But yeah, apart from being a great tool to uh, solve the problems in the crypto space, yeah. Apart from this, yeah, there is nothing new about AI agents, right? Which is like nothing new related to crypto about AI agents, which is not already there in the traditional AI, yeah, traditional AI infrastructure.
Awesome. Thank you. So before we end the spaces, I want to ask one last question. What's the one thing you are excited about building or shipping in next quarter? That's a question for Tausif and Utsab as well. Tausif, you can go first if you want.
Sure. I think, there's a lot of really cool things that our product team has shared in terms of their upcoming roadmap and things that they've teased. That I don't want to take their thunder in terms of what we're going to announce in sort of like the upcoming few months and within the quarter here. But I think the part at a high level, I think what I'm really excited about is continued development on our IO intelligence product. I think we've seen some really strong demand from a variety of customers, both in Web 2 and Web 3, for IO intelligence as a product and for, like support for the latest and greatest open source models there. I think, continuing to build on top of the successful launch that we had there and continuing to iterate with a lot of different features that'll make sort of, some of the things I alluded to earlier with sort of, private model like deployment and, like model hosting and things like that will make sort of the fundamental and developer experience even more seamless and even easier, and which is kind of the mission of what we're really trying to do here. So really excited to get a lot more things out the door. Some of our most like highly requested customer features. So I think you'll see a lot of announcements coming out fairly soon about those.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, on to add on top of that, from marketing standpoint, we're gonna be hosting bunch of events, in Asia mostly. We are attending Token 2049, which is end of this month, and tomorrow we have an event in Turkey, Ankara, at a university, and we have another event in Istanbul, Solana Crossroads. I will be there. um, we will post those events. We are actually posting them, and we will keep posting it. So if you guys follow our page, officialio.net page, you guys can see which events you can catch us at. And looking forward to meeting you all. And um, yeah, Utsav is here. I think he lost connection before. So I want to hear your answer, and then we can wrap up.
Yeah. Sorry, guys, I lost for a minute, but yeah. To answer your question, yeah, definitely what we are looking to build and ship in the next quarter is, the end-to-end solution provider for AI agents, and yeah, which is as a built on top of the data infrastructure that we already have. And so, yeah, and for that, we'll definitely be needing a lot of compute as well with io.net. And but yeah, basically, what we want is for any AI developer to to come to Hive, like who is looking to build an AI agent. Let's say one I'll one specific use case. If I have to pick, they are looking to build an AI agent which can trade arbitrage, right? So yeah, they come to Hive Intelligence, they do a few clicks, and yeah, that's pretty much all. And their AI agent is ready, which will be able to, let's say, trade arbitrages on chain. And yeah, for that, one of the, apart from like data, one of the heavy requirements is compute, right? To be able to host such an AI agent, which is keep constantly reading and writing the markets, and yeah, constantly, let's say, making decisions using whatever LLM models that the user is using for their AI agents. And yeah, if they are using a self-hosted model, then of course the compute requirements will be even higher with GPUs and everything. But yeah, if there is a solution, uh, like easy solution for users to build, AI agents which can do any sort of trading on top of their own algorithm, right? Which users write themselves. Then of course we just want users to have a platform where they can just do a few clicks, and yeah, their AI agents uh, are ready, which can do the trading on behalf of themselves.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Tausif. Thank you, Tsaf. Thanks everyone who joined and listened. Um, it's been an amazing 48 minutes. I hope to see you guys next week.
Yeah, thank
Thanks,
you
guys.
guys. Yeah, it's been a great session. Yeah.